Hey everybody, good afternoon, Sledge. Hey Beth, Michael, Tara, John, and everybody else. If you're on the live stream, listening to me, all you gotta do is hit the subscribe button. A few seconds later, during the live stream, you'll be able to chat right in the box. Depends on the platform. If you're on the website, it's like over to the right, I guess. Look at the screen. It's probably over that way, I guess. Should be opposite, that way. And I guess the subscribe button is down there somewhere. And I'll take your request here in a few minutes. So are we topping? Quite possibly. This is definitely a FOMO rally. Hey Kimberly, hey Suzanne, hey Dex, hey everybody. And if you want to put in your requests, you got to be a subscriber, so you got to hit the subscribe button. And while you're at it, you might as well hit the alert button with the little doodads. And if YouTube thinks you'll watch it in the morning, then let's actually load the right one, not the wrong one here. That's not the right slideshow. Let me find the right slideshow. See if I can find it real quickly. And let me see what I got. That's not the right one. Where is the right one? That's super awesome. I love it when a plan doesn't work. That's weird. Alright, well. There it is. Let's see if this will work. And grab that, and grab that, and I don't know what's different, but it says it's the same link, but we'll put it over here, and there we go. That's the right one. So this is downtown Knoxville. The you see the little sun sphere sticking up there, and the Thompson Bowling and the stadium are just off to the side here. There's the picture. It put me on the other side. So that way is Thompson Bowling and the Neyland Stadium, or Neyland, whatever. There we go. The little sun sphere sticking up above the downtown here. My airplane's on an island. Let's see, up the river that way. That way. It's all backwards. It's so weird. Anyway, all right. So are we topping? Indications that we may see a big pullback. It's out there. We have PPI tomorrow morning. We have the FOMC at 2 p.m. tomorrow. We have a potential rate change. I don't know about you, but the numbers keep coming in hot on the economic numbers. Keep coming in a little hot. That Jerome Powell keeps pointing out that the numbers are hot, even though, I don't know. Inflation, just one measure, and that seems to be coming down, but, short of the 2% target on the year over year. What's going to happen? I don't know. The market kind of pricing in the fact that we don't see a rate raise. I don't know. And then, as always, topic number 3, we'll cover 30 minutes of your request after I give you a little market outlook. So welcome, everybody. Again, if you want to throw in requests for the 30 minutes of requests, you got to be a subscriber, and it has to be during the live stream. If you're watching afterwards, you can throw a comment in down below. I'll do my best to get back to you, but the conversation continues in Discord, and the link's in the description if you want to come join that. So this is not a solicitation to buy or sell anything, as everybody here I'm sure knows. There you can see the stadium off to the side over there. Ooh, over there. Lose my hand off of the green screen. So you see the billboard, or the whatever it is, the jumbotron. Anyway, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation here, intended to be informational, educational, and fun. Hope you're having fun. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything, financial instrument, or memberships, or anything else. I'm not trying to do that. I mean, you can just come watch these and get your information. If you don't want to subscribe to anything, don't. In fact, most people who do what I do are full of crap, and that's why I'm trying to do it and be an honest person doing it. But not everybody sees it that way. So anyway, if you desire personal financial advice, like you just don't think you can make your own decisions, you need to hire and consult a financial advisor that has a fiduciary duty to give you advice based on your situation. All right, any questions on that? You can let me know, but pretty standard boilerplate stuff. Like I was talking about, the calendar here for the week right here. We're on Tuesday, and the numbers this morning coming in pretty all right. I mean, CPI still at 4% year over year, although I think it's cooked because when you look at the core CPI, it's still at 0.4%, even though we're seeing the total CPI coming at 0.1%. That something seems cooked there. If we're at 0.4% on the core, I mean, that's the stuff we pay for all the time. And I don't know about you, they mess with these numbers and take out stuff and add in stuff and whatever stuff. I haven't seen any prices getting, even slowing down. 4% still 4%. And I don't think we're coming back to 2% at all. Prices still going up quite rapidly for me. You can let me know in the chat if you have been seeing otherwise. I certainly, the only thing that's come back to normal, like pork. Pork at the grocery store. It was like $1.49 a pound for mixed pork chops. Not even the good pork chops, just the mixed ones with the bones in them. The best tasting ones, though. So like I said, in the morning, we have core PPI coming in right here. That's at 8:30 before the market opens. And then, of course, at 2 p.m., FOMC statement, and then the federal funds rate announcement, all in that same FOMC, with economic projections and all that stuff. And then coming up at 2:30, just right on the back of that, is Jerome Powell. Can't resist talking to the crowd. And then, of course, on Thursday, we also have core retail sales, Empire State Manufacturing, retail sales, unemployment claims, Philly Fed manufacturing, import prices. It's a stacked day. And we have industrial production at 9:15. So another stacked day of news. And then on Friday, even more with the consumer sentiment coming out and inflation expectations. So Fed's going to do their thing, and then we'll find out the University of Michigan inflation expectations and consumer sentiment on Friday at 10 a.m. while the market's open. So watch for fireworks. This week is not over. We still have lots of danger. Danger close here. We are in the middle of it at this point. No turning back. We did see volatility today. It was not the kind that drops the market, but we did see some volatility. And yeah, the Opex, we have the futures expiring, and we have a massive options across all things expiring this month, this week, this month, this quarter, this half. Gosh, we might see $2 trillion in options expire this week. $2 trillion just poof out of the market. Not a very good poofer, but that we'll see that poof right out of the market. Does it unclinch things? Does it keep everything hyped up? I don't know. Keep coming back. I'll keep you updated just the best I can. So that's the economic update for the week. We have lots of stuff, lots of danger. Please be careful. Please, please, please. Horrible minefield this week, as Beth says. That is 100% true. All the way out to the end of Friday. Next week, let's check it out. Just so we're aware. Coming in Monday, not much. Actually have a bank holiday, it says. I guess Juneteenth. Is the market closed on Juneteenth? I don't even remember. The market may be closed on Monday. Maybe the first year we're observing Juneteenth on the market. I can't remember. I have to look that up. Anyway, Tuesday, housing starts, permits. Not usually a big market mover. Wednesday, not a whole lot of anything. So back to kind of normal again next week. Not a lot of market movement stuff. So we'll see what happens this week until we get down to Friday. We have a few things in here: Treasury report and flash manufacturing PMI. So, all right. It was closed last year. Yeah. let's just do a quick NYSE holidays 2023. I think it's closed. Let's see. Yep, Juneteenth, Monday closed. So it is closed on next Monday. That means limited hours for the futures, and I'll do a crypto special on Monday. So come back for more. Catch you on next Monday. Funny enough, crypto tends to rally even in the face of whatever regulatory crap's going on. Crypto tends to rally on 3-day weekends. So maybe this weekend, we'll see. All right, popping on back over to what we all came for: market news and chart analysis and requests. All right, S&P 500 pushing the limits here. Definitely right up through the top of the target. A pullback is increasingly likely the higher we go. Looks like we may go up here and tag this 44.24 before we find resistance. I don't see pushing on out to 4,600 as the high probability thing without at least a pullback to retest this high. But crazier things have happened. This FOMO can keep going and not make sense. It's entirely possible, but please be careful. I don't like the straight up, and this is straight up with near, barely, that didn't hardly even count as a pullback. Just chugging right on up, going exponential. This is dangerous right here, super dangerous. Now my big time frame, I didn't even update it. Let me see if I have it with me. Not on that one. Let's see, do I even have it where I can pull it up? Yeah, right here. This one. Now, way back in January, maybe even before that, I drew these white arrows on here and put these numbers on here. And you see 45, 44 right up there as target 3. And we could do that. Today, I mean, we're already up in this area right here, actually. So we could just reach right on up there. Could happen. And then we get that pullback and that move. So that move takes us up to 48.83. And then we probably get another sizable pullback and then another move, and that one's not put in the right spot. So just keep it in mind. I kind of drew this path out there all the way back in January. And, well, while it looks a lot better and I feel a lot better, and this chart works a lot better if we get some sort of pullback in here, we could just go ripping right on off and keep on going. Entirely possible. All right. Entirely possible. Nothing's impossible in the market. So, DGS2, this is what I was talking about here. The 2-year Treasury rate keeps inching back up here. This is why we might see another rate raise. We could go, the Fed's expected to stay in this box right here, continue it forward, but we could see him pop it on up a little bit. So, all right, we'll cover gold here in just a moment. We'll cover all the normal highlights, all the standard stuff. We usually work through the futures. There is a gap in ES and NQ due to the contract rollover. We went from the June contract, which expires this week, to the September. Get the words out of my mouth. September contract. See, if you look at the June contract, it doesn't have that crazy gap in there, and we're at 43.71. If you look at the constant contract, we got the rollover in there, and it does have a crazy gap, and we're at 44.16. So there is a bit of divergence between those, and that's just the time value between the one that expires this week and the one that expires in September. There's like a 40, it's like an extra big dollar amount in there, and we can see that when we do this little calculation right here. Yeah. So if we zoom this out so we can see this little line that kind of appears every time, that is, I don't know why it's going to 0. It's kind of weird right now. There we go. Turn off the exponential stuff. All right. This represents the gap between the futures and the cash index. It comes almost to zero right by the expiration, and then we roll forward and we get another sizable difference. Now the green bars and the red bars are how much it's moved overnight versus the cash close. So that's what you see here. And we're up here around a $47 price difference right now between futures and cash. So this represents the, click on the actual line. This represents the actual difference in price between the futures. That's kind of the theta decay of futures. I don't know what they call it. When futures, like back here in this ancient history, we don't always see it ramping up giant. So interesting, huh? Sometimes it goes negative. That's backwardation. But when we go positive and then decay, that's contango, I believe they call it. And right now we're actually outsized. So the September futures due for, pricing in a little overexcitement here compared to historical standards. It usually runs somewhere around 30, 35. Back here in September, it was only about 20. We're running 35 and 35, and now we're at 45, almost 50. That's a little ambitious there on the futures. So what does it mean? Not a whole lot. It's just the money that'll come out of it between now and September. So at some point, about $50 of extra value will come out of those futures. Arbitrage opportunity, well, you could say that, but I guarantee you there's somebody already out there that takes advantage of that. All right, NQ, same little pop in there, and coming up near the resistance. So might be better to look at QQQ right now with the little futures gap in there. We are coming up a bit shy of getting to the March highs from last year. But that's going to be the next resistance zone right in there where we topped. You can see we're getting right up to it. Everything kind of slowing down a little bit today, especially on Nasdaq. Had a red doji candle thing there. Pushed higher and still closed kind of red, or at least it's closed now. So Russell still working on breaking out higher here. We've come right up to the 618 resistance. We run this fib and we stop. We haven't been able to get through it in this kind of orange zone right here where we consolidated on the way down. It's resistance on the way up. We break out over 1937, and Russell is going through reconstitution, causing a little bit of heartburn in the Russell right now. But if we get through the reconstitution, we break out over 1937, probably headed up to this price area right up here around 2100. Now the August high, where we are kind of poking through right now on S&P 500. For Russell, that's still up around 2030-ish, 2028. So we're a ways off. We're still down around 1898. If you ran the upside opportunity there, get up to 2028 right there. That's like a 6% upside potential. Maybe a little more because I didn't put the candle right on the candle. 6, almost 7% upside potential. And then if we catch up to the rest of the indexes, maybe we're looking at a 10 or 12% upside potential. That's a heck of an outperformance if this thing can break out over that resistance. So keep an eye on that. Oil still kind of consolidating down here. Still kind of consolidating. And I need to reduce the CVD and the volume. There we go. Little bounce potential? I don't know. We'll see. It's going to have to get above these highs at this point. We had a series of higher highs, just barely, and then we made a lower low. That's an expansion of the range. Could come back up. We'll have resistance at this point, breaking out through the uptrend. We break out over that. Target's right up here. This is the big kind of measured bounce set up off of this low from back here, back here in May, moved up, retraced. It's the 618 retrace, holding the hold line, holding the support zone, that little orange box. That's the upside target, right around 80 to 82. Gasoline, that's Brent oil. Gasoline, just kind of consolidating. That's watermelon seed squeeze territory right there. That can lead to an outsized move when it breaks out of this thing here. Got a little triangle cooking. And we broke down through the trend line of the lows, and now we've got kind of a watermelon seed squeeze situation going on. Unreliable pattern for any kind of continuation. At some point it'll break out. If it goes up or down, I don't know, but it's likely to go the distance of the mouth here. Roughly like that. Draw a sloppy line, get a sloppy answer. Somewhere either up like this or down like this. That's the range. I don't think it's going back to $2. I would bet more money that we were going up to 326. That's what kind of expect at this point. I don't see it breaking down. I bet everything starts looking better and we have gasoline start ramping off again. Natural gas going into a funk. This has got an interesting situation going on where UNG and BOIL, the two ETFs, are controlling 30% of the futures contracts. This is highly, highly unusual right now, and a situation where we may not see the futures move at all because of that the sheer number of contracts, and they just want to rip people's money. So a lot of people have wanted to play this pullback in natural gas and bought those ETFs like crazy, and right now about 30% of the futures contracts are controlled by those two ETFs, and that's highly unusual. Usually it's like 95% of the contracts are controlled by actual users, big time traders and people looking to take delivery of natural gas. But instead 30% are being traded by the two large ETFs that control natural gas. Yeah, Ford trying to break out. It has that watermelon seed squeeze thing. It's poking its head out the top. The potential upside move on that one. Potential, I say potential, could be upwards of $19. That'd be really nice. We see a pullback back into this area and then a bounce and go higher. I do have a 3 to 5 year kind of pattern looking for this thing to make an outsized move, but we got to get out of this funk first. This definitely was a watermelon seed squeeze thing, and pop it up to 19 could be what it does. It doesn't have to have any kind of crazy good news. Like, we don't have to. It's not the way these things work. So, gold, as I saw in the chat, what is gold going to do? Likely, need to turn on my roadmap line. What I need to do. Likely to retrace to the roadmap line. Highly, highly likely. Highly likely. And find support right down here, right around 1900, 1910, 1915, 20, somewhere right in that zone. Get in the zone, auto zone, get in the zone, roadmap zone. Right in there. Somewhere right there. If it does that, it is a super bullish pattern. Super bullish. Silver came up, bounced off the resistance line from these prior highs. The next breakthrough probably on the major path higher. So, watching silver. I am long silver, got long silver, kind of sitting on it, expecting it to break out and run. Probably a $35 target, and that's probably out to 25, 26, 2025 or 2026, that is. So, that's a long-term price appreciation trade right there. Next up, copper coming back up to the roadmap line. We're going to see. We're going to test it. And if it holds, it'll probably push lower. If it breaks on through, we'll come up and retest these highs over here where we had resistance, resistance, resistance. And if we can break out through those highs, we can get an extension. What kind of extension might you say? Let's kind of run this and fix my number here. Could see it run up to 459, possibly 487 on the upside. Be some expensive copper. Right now that's kind of corrective and looks like it may want to reach down lower. This is kind of a sloppy corrective pattern, and I kind of expect it to go lower, but always got to follow the price. So this could be it. Yeah, this did kind of a measured bounce potential setup down to the 618, holding, turning up. We break out over the roadmap line. We can go on extension higher. Lumber, just messy, sloppy chart anymore. Hard to see anything on here. They messed up the historical chart and switched it over to this new truckload chart, and it just doesn't tell me anything anymore. Hard to derive anything from lumber. And housing keeps squeaking back up. Gonna retest that 618 line. You're like, JT, I can't see that. Let me flip to a weekly chart and we can actually see some candles right up here. We're into resistance. If we break on out here, break on through the prior high, probably go on an extension to 343, 357 on housing futures. So despite the housing environment, we're starting to turn up, starting to look positive. We saw that in Home Depot and Lowe's too recently, and Nail and a few of the other ones. So wheat continues to look kind of crap. I mean, that was like a bubble right up to the top and right back down. I did expect it to continue, but it did not. So bad on me. It just continues to chug back down. Corn also looks kind of sloppy. Just nothing. Sugar continues to consolidate up near the highs. Not so great, but that one, again, looks kind of bubbly and may come right back down. Cattle also looking kind of bubbly and way sky high, hitting all-time high prices again. Did not break down. I don't know. That's pretty crazy there. And pork, as I mentioned, down 93 cents a pound on pork futures. So, all right. Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin sitting on the roadmap line, holding support for several days now. Right in the zone here. If we can break up higher, we can go on a run. If we start breaking down, pushing lower, probably get some extensions down to maybe 24.8, 2400 possible, or 24,000, excuse me, 24,800, 24,800. Spit all the numbers out. 24,100, possibly 24,000. I don't know. Ethereum stuck on the roadmap line also and needs a bigger, deeper retrace. This one is further along in its count and probably needs a retrace back down to the $1,400 area to build up some strength to go higher again. This one bottomed back in June, whereas Bitcoin bottomed in November. So Ethereum bottomed back in June, made a higher low here in November, but Bitcoin made the low in November and is working a little bit behind in the count. So when I say the count, I'm talking about early wave count. So, all right, that was pretty much. Unless you see something else on the list you want me to cover, like coffee or whatever, you can let me know. Otherwise, let's get to some of the requests. So, AXP, now is the time to put them in the chat, everybody. AXP, I'll try to catch the ones that were put back a little ways. AXP, on the path. 189 is the upside target here. We're poking through. This is the conservative entry now. You want to be careful, though. We could turn down at the prior high. That's always entirely possible. But 189, that's like a 70% likely we go hit that once we get up through this resistance. And like a 40% likely that we go straight on up to 199. And the likelihood we just go blasting on off keeps dropping. That's why I say, like, getting that extension on SPX is lower likely, but we could see it. Could see it. Entirely possible. Entirely plausible. All right, BMY. Looks like a garbage chart going down in a blaze of glory. No indications of a bottom at this point. Possibly holding at the 618, but that looks pretty bad. not showing strength. It's not just bouncing off of that. So we may push on down, next layer down like 59, and then back to the lows, and extension lower, 45. Ouch. All right. Let's see. I'm all over the place here. ATVI. Working on it. It's got that giant gap down. Diablo 4 came out, and it's pretty much a hit. Everything I keep reading. Some of the players aren't happy with the microtransactions that they have, but it seems to be a hit, and this could take Activision on up here back to 90. Their Microsoft deal kind of not so done anymore, but yeah, Activision Blizzard might not need Microsoft. Just look at Diablo 4 sales. There you go, right there. Baron's agreeing with me. So Diablo 4, pretty rocking, and they're hitting a good one. But they have lots of competition this year. They may win Game of the Year, but they may not. New Zelda game out, and several other new games out this year, big titles. So that's one to maybe keep an eye on, maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. BA still holding strong. Target's 225 for the first targets. Extension target 234. Not far off at this point. 225. That was chart of the week 4 weeks back. 4 weeks back tomorrow. So that one played out. Almost played out. And Boot is looking strong, my friend. Got a crazy target on Boot. Everybody here probably think I'm crazy. Looking for 115 at least, and potentially up here in the 140 area, 130, 140, maybe 150. That's kind of what I'm expecting at this point. You know, maybe not get that high, but it would be unusual if this is a bullish pattern and we don't exceed at least 115. I am long, and I got long back here when we were down here, and I'm up like 500%, and probably be up like a bajillion% by the time we get up here. We'll see. Still sitting on it. Vimeo, never heard of that one. Oh, Vimeo. Didn't know it was public, but that looks pretty crap. Certainly not Google's chart right there. Down at 450, bleeding money. Not making tons of money. Yeah, I wouldn't touch it with my money. DKNG continues to rally here. There was a breakout through the highs, and don't really have any targets because it hadn't really pulled back. 272. We could get out to the 3618, but that's going to take more energy. A pullback is highly likely at this point. Back to the roadmap line, back to 20, and then we can get some bigger moves. Need a pullback. Need a sizable pullback. This barely counts. It just gets us a little bit higher, probably 27, 28. I mean, it could keep churning these little pullbacks and just work its way higher and higher. But I don't know. NEX. I don't know that. It's not bullish. It's not bearish. It's just sideways choppy. Beep. Right on that roadmap line. NEXT. Next is more nasty, gnarly crap. I mean, that's downtrend. That's a downtrend. Can't break out, and looks like it's going to keep doing that in a just choppy range here. So, for gosh sakes, man, don't chase crap like this. I mean, if you're good at trading something like this, do it, but that's horrible. Looks like a horrible chart. Mara is just stuck on the roadmap line, not going anywhere. Just stuck. Stuck, I say, stuck. Can't get off the mat. If Bitcoin goes on a run this weekend, watch out. But otherwise, it's been stuck here for almost 2 months. Right in this zone. It's almost like a watermelon seed squeeze, too. Be careful. All right, be careful chasing it right now. We did Bitcoin, we did Ethereum. I assume you meant TSLA, not TESLA. Tesla, yeah, right. Trying to break through. I would be very careful. It's having trouble getting much higher here. We're poking through the downtrend. This is going bullish, but highly likely at some point right here, we come back and back test this downtrend line. This looks a lot like another chart I showed a little while ago right here. Remember this giant downtrend line? We came up, hit it, pulled back, came up through it, pulled back, and now we're up in here. That's a lot like the Tesla chart. Be careful. It's probably looking to do some sort of retrace, and my trend line is not perfect, so it could be up just a little bit, depending on where people connect up the dots. Connect the dots, la 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 la. We could be just hitting it today, so be careful. All right. Tesla definitely looks like, I mean, I drew this back in February where we pop up, pop down, came almost to the perfect. Right up here, almost perfect. Pull back, haven't done that yet, and then break out. So be careful on Tesla. Please be careful. We're due a pullback. And VIX is due a pop. I mean, that's so far it bounced off the supports. It's kind of hovering. Probably needs to come up and retest the roadmap line. Maybe make another one of these higher low things. We'll see. Highly likely we see some expansion of VIX because I don't know about you. Everything doesn't seem hunky-dory like it was before COVID. It's the lowest level we've seen in VIX since before COVID. I don't think the market's all calm and risk-free at that kind of level. So last time we even got close, back in June 21, we quickly shot up. Be careful. Be careful. Meta, if I spell it right, Meta is working its way through the box. Target is right up there. Hadn't moved. 320. Probably get a pullback. It's probably going to take a little while. Could take out to mid to late summer. But 320 is probably where it's going, just like Netflix and FLX. It's up in the box. These are targets I set months ago. I drew this arrow back in February. Going up to 500 eventually. It's going to work its way right up into the top of that box. Why? Where did that box come from? It's the gap. Left this gap down. Giant gap down. Left it open. It's going to go up there, and then we'll find out what happens. CRSP crispy. That looks like a gnarly piece of junk. Biotechs do not follow my patterns. Just one of the dangerous things. Be careful. If I was going to guess, I mean, up to the roadmap line, retrace, break through, retrace, find support, and then move. But anything can change the path. That's resistance. Down here, support. Just a gnarly chart. All right. BMY. I thought I did BMY. I can't remember. Yeah, it looks horrible. Coin is stuck bouncing between this support area. And when you look right back here, like this, to this high, we have support in this zone right here, and we've got resistance at the roadmap line. Try to poke up through the roadmap line, bounce back to the support. Try to break up through the roadmap line, bounce down to support. Try to break up through the roadmap line, bounce down to support. Despite the regulatory news, we're in the same place we've been for practically since January. 6 months. Going nowhere. Tries to break out and then gets slammed back down. Tries to break out, gets slammed back down. Tries to break out, gets slammed back down. It's going to try to break out again, probably. If it can do it, we have upside lofty targets. We have another high back here from August to go retest, but at this point, it's just not interesting. It's just not going. INTC could recover a little bit. 35 and 37 are the upside targets there. Well, let me fix that. 35 and 38 are the upside targets there. Didn't break down, amazingly. I thought it was going to break down after doing that. Came right back up. Looks like 35 and 38. Now, one thing I talked about on the morning show was how semiconductors are actually turning the bottom on demand. They've been going through this dismal demand. Let me actually see if I got it on the other screen. Probably do. Right here it is. Right here. Semiconductor worldwide demand has gone through a steep decline after coming out of the COVID pop. And the COVID pop wasn't really like we were already on the upswing from back here in 2019. We were already on an epic demand swing, higher than we had seen in like a decade. And we hit the top and we dropped. We went back into a low that we haven't seen in a long time, since the great financial crisis. So we went back to this low, and now we're kind of turning the bottom. It's continuing to turn. Could see semiconductor demand increase again, and a lot of our semiconductor companies actually start doing better, like MU and Intel, stuff like that. So if you look at the Intel chart, this is kind of what we're seeing here. This giant down, turning the bottom, potentially going to come back up. Intel makes a lot of chips that aren't just Intel inside, desktop processors. They make a lot of other semiconductors. Other stuff like MU, starting to turn the bottom here. A little more advanced compared to Intel. Other stuff like NVIDIA is just redonkulous. These guys are cutting a deal with NVIDIA to make chips for them. They don't even run their own fabs. And they're at 37 times price to sales, which is ridiculous. So he's probably going to pull back. It's like dangerous. Highly, highly dangerous trading stuff with over 20 price to sales. Highly dangerous. All right. Kind of went down the rabbit hole on that one. RBLX. Not really going anywhere. Not going anywhere. FTNT. And just kind of stuck in here. This is a conservative entry for a move out to 82, but it's going to be a long time, potentially. This is a nice slow pullback, and a slow run out. And this could be could take another few months to get that move. I'd rather go after stuff that was moving a little faster. I mean, that could be September, maybe even out to November, December. Could be out to there before we get to that area. So, all right, GLD, just like the gold futures, needs that touch of the roadmap line on the daily chart. If you want the roadmap line, links in the description. $5, you can get the roadmap line. Or it's for free on YouTube if you go back in. I have a thing. I'm like, look at my indicator. And I give you the code for free right in the video. So not a solicitation to buy anything. I give it to you for free. IHI. But if you want it the easy way where you just cut and paste, you got to pay $5. Pay for the convenience. And you get a watch list mailed to you for 3 months. Anyway, IHI. Looks like sideways garbage. At least it's not like dumpster fire going down in the garbage. That's just sideways. Not all that interesting. MXL. That does look like going down in flames garbage. Can turn the bottom, but right now, not interested until we're back above 33, 34. Hadn't even made a higher high of any sorts. Just like, look. I mean, look where we are. Couldn't even break up the first time. On the second time, it was still below the roadmap line. Like, we got a shooty tons of resistance built up right there. So, dangerous. PGR. That one looks like it may go lower. Got to break above these highs right here. Otherwise, we can go lower. Progressive. QQQ. I kind of covered that earlier. Probably got resistance right there above us. Big pullback to the roadmap line. Entirely possible. So, if you're not prepared for a potential move back down into this zone, you need to evaluate what you got going on, because it's entirely possible we retrace that far. We, at the minimum, probably retrace back to this zone right here around 334. Prior high. A little trouble breaking out. Run up. Come back. Retest it. Highly likely, if not, coming all the way down to the roadmap line. All right. It could be that the roadmap line comes up to that level and we retest it all right up in there. It could be that we go whoop and this comes down like this, right all in that zone. That could be what happens. And that could be out to July. Entirely possible. Entirely possible. RPD. Stuck on the roadmap line. Not going anywhere. Sideways. TLT is stuck under the roadmap line. Sideways. You got a whole bunch of sideways. WINN. Potential bounce. Got to get above the resistance right here to set it up for 124, 131. Potential. You could aggressively buy now. Stop down here. We've got the resistance right there that we may bounce off of and come down though. Be careful. Be careful getting in early. Amazon has big potential. Met a little resistance today. Trying to push higher. Still lagging the QQQs. QQQs pushing that 1272 extension and the March high. March high up here. Whereas Amazon is just down here at this, not even, I mean, it's still 15%-ish below the August high. And if we ran up to that other high, like 30% upside potential. Oh, excuse me. Huge potential for Amazon to catch up. Just think, announce Jeff Bezos coming back as CEO. AI initiative. Both things. I mean, this thing has huge upside potential. I am long. That's all I got to say about that. All right. SOXL is almost to the targets. First target was 27, conservative. Aggressive target 33, and the head and shoulders target was 39. This was the chart of the week a bunch of weeks back. Probably back here in, I don't remember. Somewhere back in March, probably. That's all I got to say about that one. Costco is COST. It helps if you give me the ticker. This had a big watermelon seed squeeze situation and potentially breaking out. Maybe breaking out higher. If it actually goes, it could take it up to like 700. If it breaks down from where it is right now, since it's just not even making a higher high, could take it all the way down to 300, 350-ish. That one's super dangerous. FCEL. Possible that this is some kind of bottom. That's right into resistance at the roadmap line. Be careful, we see a deep retrace. That's super dangerous to mess with. That's looks like hot garbage. The only little thing it has going for it is this is a higher high and a higher low. Nothing indicates to me that this is going to recover or go much higher. THS. Treehouse Foods. Is this Keebler? Treehouse Foods, get it? Keebler. Anyway, it might be. 57.60. What does Treehouse Foods do? Let's see. Let's go look. No, it's not Keebler. What do we make? Are they a contract producer? I have no idea. No idea. All right. That's a conservative entry, and 57.60, not huge moves, but you can see it tends to bounce off the roadmap line, bounce off the roadmap line, kind of went into a consolidation, and did the extension finally, then back to the roadmap line, extension, back, after it hits one of these extensions, probably back to the roadmap line. Very reliable pattern for that one. All right. Where did I do? Noyo. Garbage, man. It can go lower. China garbage. Don't trade China stuff. It's dangerous. AI. Yeah, right up to the target. Right up to the target resistance. Probably gonna retrace again. Support right now, right in this zone. We did have support down there. Pull this up. Support right now, right up in this zone. Highly likely to see some sort of pullback here. The 53 is like the next upside target. Possibly 73, but that's resistance. We consolidated there for a good long time on AI. It was support. Support. And support broke. Now we're back up in the zone. Couldn't get through on the first attempt. Second attempt. May spend a little time in this zone. But entirely possible we retrace deep again, just like we did back over here. All right. PayPal has a gnarly chart. Probably going to come up, retest the lows, and roll over again. It's the continuation pattern that I talk about on the upside, except it's on the downside. Resistance right up in here, and turn down for the extension. 53. Grab the wrong thing, of course, instead of the chart. DOCN. Alrighty. That's targets, baby. I wouldn't expect a lot more. You know, it's like a 10% chance we going up to like 52. Entirely possible, but a retrace highly likely. Be looking to protect my profits, especially stop down up here around 43. We start breaking down, we can come on down 39, possibly even the roadmap line, all the way down around 36, 37. Be careful on that one. That's targets. Do I always use the daily charts in my initial analysis? No, not necessarily. But for this, I always use the daily charts. Easy to give y'all targets, big picture stuff. In Discord, I go through whatever time frame you ask for. So ALGM. If you just ask for my thoughts on something, I'll just pull up whatever time frame I'm messing with right now, whether it be the 1 second chart or the 5-minute chart or the weekly chart or the monthly chart, whatever chart I'm on, I'll just pull it up and give you an opinion. May not be what you're looking for. So you got to be specific when you ask me for questions. That one did a 3-wave retrace right to there, popping back up. Breakout over these highs right here. Can take this one on a run. That one has a pretty nice setup here. Breakout 396, 428 on the upside. On the next extension. And looks like the next resistance up is up here around these 272 area. All right. LLY. Yeah, that one just keeps on rocking. Keeps on rocking. Looks like we're running out of steam a little bit after that pullback. Probably could use another big pullback. That little pullback could lead to 464, but it may lead to a deeper retrace. 3-wave situation. We'll take it back into here. could see this come on up. Could see these things come together down in here. The hype on the weight loss medicine is over. You know, disappointed on earnings just a little bit. I don't know. That one's a continuation higher is a lower likelihood. JPM, potential to break out, go to 150. Potential. All right, rig. Let's see a couple questions. We'll get to those in just a second. And holding support, couldn't break out through the resistance. More sideways between, we got resistance up here. We got support at the roadmap line, sideways until we break through one of them. And go deeper. We can possibly, we have the prior highs back down here. We may go retest that. If we break down, if we break out up, we can go up here to $8, $9 on the upside. Spot. Yeah. Has the resistance right there. Potential to retrace back. But if we can just break on up, we could keep on going. Next resistance above us is this stuff right here. We don't have any major pullbacks, so it's hard to do any kind of fib extension thing. And this is not really a pullback. That's the termination of a move. And there's been not really any kind of pullback. This is just like bounced up off of that and just keeps drifting here. At some point, we need a pullback, and then we can start doing some sort of extensions, building some constructive price movement. PHO, that just looks kind of rough. The lower high right now, not a lot to work with. Sitting right in the resistance, I would expect. 618, bounce, 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 bounce. A lot of trouble getting through that. If it can get above this junk right here, it's been stuck on for a year, almost a year. We can see an extension out to 65, but that looks rough. Rough. All right, roadmap same as it. No, roadmap is not VWAP. Not even related at all. Roadmap is a couple of EMAs and SMAR. Roadmap line is a 144 EMA and a 169 EMA with a cloud drawn between them. That's the magic. It's not really a secret. It just, look how well it works, though. And that's a lower low after going higher high, and it stopped right at the 1272. I don't know. That if it holds support here, we can go on the next run. Maybe another expansion. Could be up to 56 this time. Could go deeper, though. It is holding a higher low so far. Barely. Start breaking down below that. And watch out for a return to the lows. All right, FTNT. Thought I already did this one, but maybe not. Yeah. 82. I'm pretty sure I already did that one. ADBE is broke through this resistance, kind of ran out of steam today, kind of retracing a little bit. Would watch out. That can poke back down. We haven't done a retrace since back here. This is just a crazy straight up move. We need some sort of pullback. You can see what look at the size pullbacks this thing does. See that right there? That one's just a little bigger. That one's about the same size. I can take it right back down here. Be careful. Oh, look. Futures market's back open. Futures are back open. Been doing this for an hour. All right. Oracle has been going straight up. It's at the target zone. At your giant target. And we got there even faster than I thought. Highly likely we see a deep retrace. These things don't continue without retraces. They just don't. We could pull up a bajillion examples. Giant pop, retrace. Giant run, sideways, retrace. Giant move up, retrace. Giant move up, retrace. I mean, they do giant moves up, they do a retrace. The big pop, sideways forever. Big pop, retrace. Big pop, retrace. I mean, now is not the time it's going to be different. It's never different, all right? We can go back 100 years on these charts, and they're never different. Big pop, retrace. Giant retrace. Big pop, retrace. They always retrace. Big pop, retrace. Exponential move up, giant retrace to a lower level. Even back when Oracle, they thought Oracle was going to solve the world's problems. Giant mega run, mega retrace. So be careful. This pop going exponential, probably going to retrace. It could go higher. Could go on up to 134, but probably going to retrace. That was the extension of that big giant pullback. Highly likely to come back to at least the breakout point, 106, up to 134, then another retrace. It's just the pattern. All right. Glad you had fun today. Let's see. How do you think TLT is going to react once the government starts selling bonds? I don't know. I don't think TLT moves with the government selling bonds, even though some of us can, a lot of people probably argue counter. But I think TLT is on its own path. And the path right now is sideways. It could go bullish. I do have a bullish target, but it hasn't shown me it's going bullish. It's consolidating at the lows that we've, in the same place we consolidated for, back here in March, and right here. We're stuck in the box, going sideways, just turning in this range that we've turned in practically the whole entire year. Well, it has been the whole entire year because we started back here in November. Hit the high, retrace, high, retrace, high, retrace, high, retrace. Highs up here at 108, the support down here at 99. Sideways is what I expect. So SVXY. SVXY. Right up to extension. 81. Probably going to do a retrace. Probably at some point. I don't even know why that's off of that. Oh, yeah. That was the extension. So, yeah. Probably going to retrace. If we look at the extension from the last move, we're pushing it. 82, definitely pushing it. Usually don't go longer than about 64 days without some kind of meaningful pullback. Highly likely. I mean, look. See that run right there? Then almost a 20% pullback. This run right here, 20% pullback, put us back at 63. Not quite all the way up there. Maybe 64. Back to the roadmap line. It's done it like clockwork. Look, all these are 15 to 20% pullbacks after the COVID low. Every hardly goes 2 months without doing it. Think this time's different? I don't. We have been, let's put this over here, run this over here. We have been 62 days off the lows. 62 bars. That's pushing the limits. Highly likely to see a nice big fat pullback. 20%, 15 to 20%. 15 takes us down to about 67. 20% takes us down to about 64. All right. Yeah, so my July puts, I'm still holding. In fact, I doubled them. I got 20 now. So, alrighty. Can crypto move up while Gensler, did you see they introduced a bill to fire Gensler yesterday? Not just crypto that's upset. Gensler's upsetting some big money players. So, they're looking at reorganizing the SEC, how it works, putting another member on the committee and doing all sorts of stuff. Total reorganization, really shake up the world. We'll see. Crypto can move up while Gensler's doing whatever. I mean, these things are unrelated. They seem like they're related, but they're not. So, alrighty. Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you again next week for another 30 minutes of awesome. And if you just want to come find out what's moving for the day, how PPI is going, what I expect from FOMC, come see me in the morning for the morning monster while I drink a monster and give you my market update. We'll see you in the morning. Bye for now. Thanks for coming.